Good afternoon. My name is Amelia Rivera. I will be speaking to you today about the importance of not only abstinence, but the sex education as well as preventing unwanted pregnancies in our high school curriculum. I will ask you to stand up, say your name, and then if you will have a seat, I will resume my speech, and then we'll have a short Q&A session after, if you would go ahead and hold your questions until then. Thank you. Please, sir, state your name.
Hugo Barrera.
Angelica Rivera.
Sarah Barrera.
Randy Baeza.
Brianna Ferrer.
Amelia Moreno.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Sex education in our high school curriculum has been, until now, it's only been abstinence. It is very important to also teach our children that abstinence, even though it is extremely important, we also need to know that there are many sexually transmitted diseases out there. We also have so many unwanted pregnancies in high school. According to About.com, 43% of our high school students have had unprotected intercourse, and 30% of those have had intercourse with up to 10 partners. So that is very important, because if we are just promoting abstinence, then apparently it is not working. We need to make sure that our children are aware that there are AIDS, herpes, hepatitis. We have HPV, which is extremely prevalent in the United States. Of the population has been exposed to one form or another of the human papillomavirus, which can cause problems not only now, but in the long future. If gone untreated, the high-risk human papillomavirus can cause cervical cancer, in which it doesn't show any problems right now, but in the future, we will have all these women dying. It can also cause penile cancer and rectal cancer. So it is extremely important that our children know how to protect ourselves with unwanted pregnancies, to wear condoms, birth control. You hear so many children, so many girls out there giving birth and throwing them away in a garbage can, which can be prevented if we just teach them how to use birth control. I know many parents out there think that if we show them how to use birth control, that is giving them the opportunity and giving them permission to have intercourse. That is not the case. That's why we as parents need to have a big role in teaching our children that there are pros and cons to every situation. We need to teach them to be responsible. We need to teach them how to prevent unwanted pregnancies. And there was a problem here in the U.S. not so much in the past, that there was an outbreak of gonorrhea and chlamydia. Not vaginal gonorrhea and chlamydia, but gonorrhea and chlamydia in the throat, which children are being taught that oral sex is also a form of sex. That they think, well, I won't get pregnant if I have oral sex, but they don't really understand that you can also spread sexually transmitted diseases in this way, which this is a big problem, because our children are going to have not understand what is going on, as we need to teach them as adults how to prevent these things. So I believe that sexually transmitted diseases is such a big epidemic in the United States that it should be added as a curriculum, as part of the curriculum in our educational system. We need to teach our children the real facts, as opposed to just the facts that are taught on TV, or opposed to the facts that the kids hear each other talking about. So, I mean, it's very important that we teach our children how to prevent unwanted pregnancies. SafeTeen.org is one of the websites that are out there to prevent children, that children can go on and surf about and understand that how to open that door of communication with our children. In New York, New York is one of the only states in the United States, and this only started in 2012, that has added the curriculum of teaching about sexually transmitted diseases, about our sexuality. Homosexuality, bisexuality is also something that is growing in the United States as well. It's more prevalent now. It's more open. Many people, a lot of children you see that are being more exposed to the same sex, the homosexuality or bisexuality. More of us are coming out and having them understand that this is part of their own body, this is part of their own being, and they should not be ashamed of who they are. So as we are growing as a country, we also need to grow, have our children understand that this is something that they need to be aware of. We need to educate our children and show them how to stop unwanted pregnancies. We have so many children that because they are bisexual or homosexual, they are being bullied. There are so many people that are dying because we are just ignorant, and we are not showing them that this is just a part of our life, and this is the part of how we are. So I believe that if we show them that this is the way our country is, whether we like it or not, this is what we are made up of. So many. This is a melting pot of the world. We have so many people that are different races, different colors, different origins, and different sexual preferences. So in closing, I really want to emphasize how important it is to have sexual education in our curriculum, not only abstinence, because abstinence, whether we understand it or not, it is the best way to prevent any type of diseases, any type of pregnancy, but it is not the only way. It is clearly not working because of all the pregnancies and diseases that we have out there. Thank you very much. Now I'm open to any questions.
I have a question,
Yes.
Rivera. You mentioned that New York is the only state in the United States that has implemented the sex education in the curriculum. What year did you say they implemented that?
2012, they will be implementing it in 2012, and that is one of the only states that will be open to that, since according to the legislature, they wanted to go ahead and do that because they believe that New York is so open and liberal. They wanted to make that to be one of the states to open that door and let them teach other things other than just abstinence. Yes.
Do you have children?
I do.
Do you agree with them being taught sex education or abstinence?
I believe they need to be taught both. As a parent, I want them to be taught as well as abstinence and sex education. I believe that it should be taught at home to begin with, but they are exposed to so many different views and peer pressure in school. I believe that we as parents need to be the first advocates for our children to let them know that yes, they should be abstinent, but realistically, it may or may not happen. So I do agree with them taught sex education in the schools. Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it something, it's an idea that the government is going to implement the sex education or not in the schools? I mean, it's going to be mandatory for the schools to give the sex education to the students.
As of right now, the government is the one that are opposing the sex education in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to promote abstinence.
Mm-hmm.
So they believe that if we teach them how to if we teach them about birth control, if we teach them about sexually transmitted diseases, that is giving them permission to go out and have sex. And it opens the door to let them allow them to do all these other things. But that is a really big argument in our government right now.
We're going to have a survey of any kind ever been done as to what the parents' opinion is about the sex education?
There's many surveys that have been done about it. If you look on the internet, there's lots of different opinions about it. It's really half and half. Some parents, which are more liberal parents, want it to be taught in the school, but the more conservative parents, they do not want that to be taught in any way, shape, or form, because they also believe that it will be opening the door to that problem. But the problem with that is that we as parents have to take responsibility first and foremost, but also the problem poses that some parents do not want to take that, it's like out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to take that role, and they don't want to tell their children about it. So those children, unfortunately, fall through the cracks and are taught by the children that are in school, and they may not be taught right from wrong. They'll just be taught what the other people think. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much.